Welcome everyone to New Bedford Creative, where we go behind the scenes to visit New Bedford creatives. My name is Margot Saulnier. I am your host, and today I am joined by Hendrik Hernandez Rasto, and this is the best scenario because today you get two hosts for the price of one. Hendrik, we're so happy to have you here today.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I've been a long-time creative in the city, so this is one of the more exciting things that I could be a part of.
So today we are going to be visiting Kilburn Mill at Clark's Cove, which is in the south end of New Bedford. And there's an adventure ahead for all of our viewers, so stay tuned. Well, I am very excited because today we are at the Dream Out Loud Center, and I am here with the Executive Director, Tracy Furtado-Chagas. Tracy, thanks so much for joining us today and letting us explore your center.
Thank you. It's such an honor to have you here. It's really just so excited to have you here witnessing Dream Out Loud and talking to us about our program.
So I know that you guys have been doing really important work for a very long time, but for those of us who don't know as much about what you are and what you do, can you give us an introduction to Dream Out Loud Center?
Sure. So Dream Out Loud Center originally began in July of 2000. The organization name was actually Brick by Brick at one point. And our mission was to advance the personal and career goals of South Coast residents through inspiration, education, and mentoring. And within a year, we ended up co-founding our main program, which I was excited to be one of the first executive directors and co-founders, and it's the Creative Careers Program. So that is the crux of our program. We work with youth through the ages of 6 through the emerging adults of 26. And we work with them in the publishing, performing, and graphic arts. And everything that the youth create are its original work. And either it gets published or performed or put on our website or in a publication graphically.
And we all know creative careers, it's a huge industry,
Yes.
and there's so many different avenues to take if you want to be creative and have a career doing it.
Right.
So that's your longest running program. Can you tell us a little bit more about the other offerings you have?
Sure. Within the Creative Careers Program, we have a variety of different offshoots. So one might be our entrepreneurial program, which we work closely with youth who then become apprentices and then get connected to college. So we also have our I Thrive Green Alive programs that focus on sustainability and the environment, which then are specific creations that get created with that theme. And then we have our Created Elementary School program, which is also students write and design and direct their own theater program. So depending on grants and funding, obviously we have these different programs at different times, but they're all really connected through the whole philosophy of connecting a student to their artistic talents and helping to encourage them to find those talents that they already naturally possess, that, they can celebrate and they can learn how their own individual dreams, that's why we call it the Dream Out Loud Center now, can really create a better, brighter future.
So for over 2 decades, you have seen personally a lot of kids come through in this program. Are there one or two alumni that who their dreams have come true out of the programs?
Absolutely. I mean, there are hundreds of alumni You know, we work with 100 youth per year, and we've been doing that for 20 years. One of my most favorite slides to show when I give presentations are all of the logos of the colleges that our youth end up choosing to go to for their creative career.
Nice.
And like you said, it can be in marketing, fundraising. It doesn't only have to be in, you know, becoming a big star and producing that soundtrack that's going to make us millions. I will say that many of our youth and our alumni are still trying because we know that someone is going to hit it big with their talent.
Yes.
And they're all, you know, rushing because they're like, we're going to be the first one to donate to Dream Out Loud. So, you know, maybe someone hasn't hit it that big, but what we promote all the time, our individual dreams are based on happiness, right? And feeling content and happy and fulfilled in our lives. And I say that dream comes true daily here. We have people in our community that you see all the time. Angel Diaz on Kelly Productions, Amanda DeGrace, who was one of our first editors of our magazine, who's now working in Providence doing community development. I mean, so many dreams have come true. For example, our program director, he began with us as a youth in the music program. And we had a moment to connect with a fundraiser for Rock for Christmas. And we were invited to open up for Eddie Money.
That's amazing.
It's really just great. It was an awesome moment. It was one of those things that just keeps life interesting in this industry, right?
Yes.
And his band was able to be the opening act for Eddie Money when he performed in Fairhaven.
Wow.
So, and now he's returned to us, you know, and he's able to, he's a student that had both graphic design and music interests, which many of them actually do, whether they realize it when they begin or if they realize it later, just kind of being in the mix of it all.
And his name is, let's give him credit.
His name is Chris Mata.
Yay.
Yes. He does a great job of bringing all the genres together here. So I'm excited to share that story.
Thanks so much, Tracy. And now we are here with Megan Holden Sattler. And Megan, I'm so happy you could join us today. Can you tell everyone what your title is at Dream Out Loud Center and what you do with the youth?
Of course, thanks for having me. My name is Megan Holden Sattler, and I am a publishing program coordinator for Dream Out Loud Center. And I work with all the publishing that gets done here. So magazines, music videos, anything that we really put out there. I'm working with the kids to put the final product together to get it published.
And were you involved in the podcast that Tracy mentioned?
Yes. So as well as being a coordinator, I also work as an instructor for some classes, like our digital media class and our podcasting class, which we have on usually once a year. The kids usually combine with New Bedford, get alumni, get locals around the area, and really talk to them about the field they're interested in, so they kind of get an idea of what their path will be or what they would like to take here in New Bedford.
And do you see collaborations amongst the students in different classes?
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like a lot of the students too would love to kind of bounce around. What's great about our students is they're very creative, and they don't set a ceiling for themselves. They really want to try everything. So some kids in the art will try music some days, or some people in the music will try art. Or sometimes music kids hey, I need an album cover, and they work with the students in the art room. Sometimes the kids in the art room for podcasting, they need some background music. So it's really like a team effort here at Dream Out Loud.
Great, and I noticed that there is a sound booth, so you are recording music here.
Yes, kids do a great job. We try to have a most professional setup as possible. We also use Adobe Suites just to get the kids a feel for what it will be like once they go into the professional realm. This way they get kind of a head start here at Dream Out Loud.
That's wonderful, and it's a lot more, learning that technology is great for the students to learn now.
Yes, definitely. I would love to have something like this. When I was younger, I grew up in Fall River, but to give the kids a chance to, get a head start, because really it is when you go in the career field, it's really what have you done more than just like have your degree now. So give them a head start on a resume and give them an idea of what they want to do. So when they go to college, they are ready.
And this show is on cable access, and we love our New Bedford cable network. And I just saw a recent social media post that you did some training there.
Yes, I loved it. I got the opportunity from Dream Out Loud Center to work with New Bedford Cable Access to learn the training of what it takes to work in a TV studio, learn the equipment, and also to give the opportunity for the kids to come in and do a podcast as well.
I am very excited to be at the Judith Klein Art Gallery and Studio with the famous Judith Klein. Thank you, Judith, for inviting us in today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been in the gallery business?
I've been an artist for most of my life. That's what I studied. I was teaching for many years. I still do teach some private students, and I was in many co-op galleries through the years here in the city, and also exhibited all over Rhode Island and Boston area, and Boston itself. And 13 years ago, when we had a co-op gallery on Purchase Street, somehow the group fell apart, and it was a wonderful space, and I said, you know what, I just stay here. And that's what I did. Well, I continued for next 3 years also. Still was close enough to the school, so once a year I had just geared for a student exhibit, and exhibited every month. So already I said, I don't have enough time to do my own work. So I decided to move the gallery. I developed a nice clientele, and people knew me, and combined my studio space as a gallery. And people followed me, and I continued with exhibit. And then when this building was bought and started developing, I moved here, and continuing with the same type of work, doing my work, have some students coming here, and doing not that many exhibits, like not monthly anymore, definitely, but I do 4 or 5 exhibits of area artists. Yes, is a lot, yeah.
Well, this is a beautiful space to exhibit work, and what I admire about you is that you always do work with local artists and uplift the local talent that we have here. And even though you're here at Kilburn Mill, you still do some events on AHA nights, which I've always loved.
Yeah, I try. Yeah.
And so we're here, and you have all of your artwork up. What is your favorite medium and your preference? And can you tell us a little bit about your artwork?
Okay. I go through stages like many artists. I love printmaking, and there are periods that I do a lot of printmaking. I make woodcuts, lino cuts, and monoprints. And I try to use also special handmade papers, which makes printmaking a little, I don't know, just comes out really different. Mm-hmm. The paper really makes a difference. I use a lot of rice paper, like this large work over there. And then I also paint oil painting, acrylic. I make mixed media, some collage work, and other materials I use incorporating in my art. And I do a lot of figurative work. Usually I do a lot of drawing, live drawing, and then I go through my sketches when I start a painting, and I use one of the drawings that kind of speaks to me at that moment, and that's my starting point, and I go from there.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Hi, this is Hendrik Hernandez Resto. I am the creative specialist for NB Creative at the New Bedford Economic Development Council, and we are here at Kilburn Mill with Kathy from K&A Creations in this beautiful studio. And obviously you can see the art on the walls and all the great things created by so many different people. And we want you to explain and tell us what it's like here at K&A Creations. What do you guys do? What are you guys looking forward to? How does the community engage?
So thank you for coming.
Welcome.
Welcome to the studio space.
Thank you for having us.
So I offer ceramic painting and canvas painting, both as walk-in options as well as private party options. I am a sober space. So we don't do the typical sip and pours, wine and paints. It's a sober creative space for the community. We welcome all ages and creative abilities. We do private events, not just for parties, but we also host groups from adult daycares, child daycares, churches, large groups that can come in and reserve a night to paint. So that is some of the stuff that we do. I'm also doing various workshops for resin workshops that we've started doing. So that's a lot of fun as well, introducing new types for different ages.
What is the history of K&A? Where did you come from? How did this come about?
So my background is medical. So I actually have a degree in clinical laboratory science,
Oh, wow.
25 years working in the medical fields.
Beautiful.
But I've always been artistic. I've always enjoyed painting, and primarily painting, but just crafting and doing different things. And during the pandemic, trying to find ways to do things with the kids to keep them busy, de-stress, I started really painting and doing a lot of different things. And I was approached by actually another Kilburn Mill resident, Utopia's Path.
Oh, yes.
So Ruth had approached me asking about doing paint parties with a holistic spin and focusing on for mental health, being in the middle of a pandemic. So I started doing those with her in a small location, in her space, in small groups. And as it really started to progress, next thing you know, I was in people's driveways doing 25 people. And then I decided, what did it look like to get a space? So as things started to open up, I started here because it's very welcoming to small businesses, very affordable for businesses to start in this building.
Important.
So it's very important. So I rented a smaller space than this one, and I was there for about a year and a half. And as things really progressed and grew, I took a step back from my primary job and decided to really go full time with this. And I was able to upgrade to a larger location. So it's definitely enjoyable.
A lot.
I do homeschool groups.
So you're in the mills, but you're out in the community as well.
Yes, and bringing in all different ages from the community is very important.
Yes.
You know, so I want to make sure I hit all of the people and let them know that you don't need to have a background in art education or a background in, I went to school for this. You can do it. Just pick up a brush or pick up a pencil and enjoy it.
And I think that's the perception that a lot of artists or people who want to engage with art have, is that they can't because they're not, a prodigy of some sort or they're not trained in it.
Yes.
Would you mind speaking a little bit more on the benefits that you believe that art has on mental health?
It's so relaxing. Like, it can really it allows you a medium to get it all out. You can throw the paint at the canvas. You can really be aggressive with it. You're not hurting anything. You can get out those feelings, whether it be in the colors that you use or the techniques that you use. It's very meditative in a way that you're really focusing on what you're doing, and you can go slow and really take your time. And I try to offer a space that's relaxing. I have coffee and tea, and you can come in and just sit by yourself or sit with your friends and just really kind of focus on just enjoying yourself and relaxation. And that's, it does have a lot of benefits.
Thank you for having us, Kathy.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, our pleasure. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Karen Charbonneau-Zukis. I'm the founder of the New Bedford Arts and Cultural Emporium. at Kilburn Mill, Studio 260. We are an art center, but we're also a cultural center. So we offer fine arts and crafts, and we also offer other cultural experiences. For example, piano lessons, voice lessons, language classes, usually Portuguese and English. Trying to find a Spanish teacher. We grow mushrooms, fresh mushrooms, indoors. And here to tell you more about the New Bedford Arts and Cultural Emporium is Danya Bischel.
We are here with Danya Bischel at the New Bedford Arts and Culture Emporium. Danya, what would you like to tell us about the Arts and Culture Emporium? How long have you been here? What's it like here at the Mills?
So I intern with Karen Zukas, who is the owner of the New Bedford Arts and Culture Emporium. I would say the main thing I would like people to know about this place is that we offer mainly classes, and we also offer experiences. We want people to come here and experience art in a way they've never experienced it before. We want them to learn and grow and bring their friends here. We want this to be a place of, arts and artistic experiences.
Of course. What has your experience been here at the Mill?
It's been amazing. I think just Kilburn Mill is a beautiful spot. It's beautiful. It's in a beautiful location, and the studio is amazing to be in, and we have another little studio, and it's just great to be in this space and with down the hall and in this artisan center. There's so many other artistic people and artistic brands, and it's just really nice to be all here in this space. And there's like personal studios down the hallway, so it's just there's so many people here practicing art and sharing what they've learned, and it's just a really cool experience.
Can you go into detail about some of the programming here at the Arts and Culture Emporium?
So we do, right now we do mainly just the classes, so you can sign up for a class and they're staggered throughout the weeks and whatnot. And they're like a couple hours at a time, and it's ranging from like how to draw realistic faces and how to do decoupage, so there's just a couple different things you can do. We're looking into starting a homeschooling program for kids who are homeschooled who want art classes, so that's going to be really cool. We're thinking that'll be sometime around the new year, so that's going to be really exciting. We did a mural slam competition, and there's 3 murals around the building done by artists that were chosen, and so we're hoping to do that annually, so that's really exciting.
What has your experience been like with the arts and culture community here in New Bedford?
My experience, I felt that entering this space and starting to work with Karen, it just opened up a whole lot of doors for me, and a lot of doors for the people I'm surrounded with, my family and my friends, and just I've learned so much about not only just art, but art programming, and that's been really cool, and I've been able to share that with the people around me because I'm in this space and because I'm working with Karen and the New Bedford Art and Cultural Emporium, so it's been great.
Danya Bischel, intern at the New Bedford Arts and Culture Emporium. We want to thank you for having us here at Kilburn Mill.
Thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate it.
We are here with Kat Knutson at their studio. Kat, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for coming to visit me. It's so great to have you here.
Happy to be here. What has your experience here at the Mills been like?
I've been at the Mills for a while, for almost 10 years now. It started off as a painting studio that I would have friends over to do figurative art sessions. I would sometimes paint in the studio. It was a storage space for a while, and then I recently opened it up so that it's kind of like a classroom where artists can come and practice their figurative art skills in painting, also in drawing. So that's the most recent activity. It's kind of like an artist studio / classroom space.
And what is your history with art?
I'm a figurative artist. I went to school at a community college in Charlotte, North Carolina called Central Piedmont Community College. And then I went to UNC Asheville. I got my Bachelor in Fine Arts in painting. And then I went to UMass Dartmouth and I got my MFA in painting. And then I started teaching at Bristol Community College about a year after I graduated. And I teach foundation art there, like drawing, structure drawing, figure drawing. I teach animation and digital media. But I've always had a heart for figurative art because I think the anatomy of the human body is really powerful, and there's a lot of symbolism that can go into telling some really cool stories with just everyday gestures, like the way that we're sitting right now, the fact that we have this really cool symmetry going on in this conversation. There's also a lot when it comes to lighting and color palette and design, and there's a lot of symbolism that can go into ideas. There's a lot of history, and I think it's really powerful to be able to work with a human figure to get your ideas out there. And so I've always been really intrigued by just the ability to create some sort of an idea using the human figure as a vehicle.
Can you go into detail about some of the programming that you offer here at your studio?
Yes, thank you so much for asking. So every month I offer at least 4, sometimes 6 sessions. They're 2-hour sessions and they're 3-hour sessions. They offer artists a chance to work with the live model. The 2-hour sessions, we switch poses every half hour, so you get a chance to study the gesture, the light and shadow, the perspective, and also you get a chance to build a multi-figure design because we work through 4 different poses. Those are usually on the Saturdays from 1 to 3, but sometimes those change, but most of the time it's Saturday from 1 to 3. On Wednesdays from 5 to 8, we have longer sessions where we put the figure in the same pose, and the pose, it could be a standing pose, a sitting pose. We hold the figure in that position for half an hour at a time, and then we tape the figure off, and then we return to that pose for the remainder of that 3-hour sessions. A lot of times artists use that to paint the figures because they have more time to work with the same pose, and paint takes a little bit more time to work with as opposed to things like graphite or charcoal. So those are the current workshops that I offer, and I say workshops, they're kind of like almost like going to a gym. They're like practice sessions. So you don't have to sign up for all of the sessions. You can come to them, you can drop in, you can sign up for them on Eventbrite. You can, I market those sessions through Facebook Marketplace and also through the website. And anyone who's really interested in getting better at understanding anatomy, color, light, design, mark making, perspective, I think these workshops are a really good fit for them.
What has your experience with the arts and culture community been like here in New Bedford?
It's been a mixed bag of a range of artists that are super active in their studio, super active on the professional scene, super active on the business scene, maybe in the educational sense, different types of entities from nonprofits to businesses to artists that are more like independent contractors, artists that are really excited about creating versus artists that are more excited about building their brand, artists that are just getting into the scene versus artists that have been here for a while and they're trying to figure out if they're going to continue to like mostly operate here or move to different places and kind of operate in both places. I got to drop my friend's name, Fitz. He's a part of Reggae on West Beach. He does a lot of amazing things here, but he's also based out in California. And so it's a really amazing community in this area.
What do you hope for the future of your studio here at Kilburn?
I hope that this studio continues to be a working vessel that artists have access to work from the reference of the live model. I want them to be able to have access to that regularly. I also hope that it becomes a hub of networking for other figurative artists to be able to find each other. There's actually a large group of figurative artists in this region, and I would really like to become like a small hub spot for figurative artists to be able to find one another. There's also other places that are hosting figurative art sessions, places like the Co-Creative Center, the Art Museum has hosted figurative art workshops, Play Arcade has hosted figurative art workshops. And so I just want it to be one of the locations that artists who are really interested in improving their anatomy, but also looking at other artists' works, also looking at examples of other approaches to material, design, storytelling, symbolism, concept art, design. Like it can branch out in a lot of these different directions, and I want artists to have the chance to like see what other artists are doing. And so that's why things like a show that's actually opening up tomorrow called The Curious Figure, the show's designed to kind of provide a sample of some of the figurative artists that are in the scene to kind of keep that conversation around figurative art going.
Kat Knutson, thank you for having us here at your beautiful studio.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Our pleasure. Thank you for joining us here at New Bedford Creative and to our trip down to Kilburn Mill at Clark's Cove. We hope you enjoyed all the artists that we featured today and that you learned something.
That was really fun. Thank you for helping me host today, Hendrik. And thank you all for joining us, and we hope you join us the next time. Until then, stay curious and be creative.